The oversized luggage bins are causing a major headache.
Manually operated. The loading limitation of these bins are 50 kilos or 60 kilos. So you can imagine that if you have a stewardess or a passenger trying to move 50 kilo like this, they are not that strong, and it is a difficulty.
Nearby is Airbus's top-secret research facility, where technicians strive to find solutions to these problems. They've come up with a prototype electric bin, but nothing is ever straightforward.
For closing, you push again, and the thing is closing. It's a very simple item, but if you go now to the rear of this feature, you can see that the device which is used over here with all these specific belts and mechanical devices or electromechanical devices is something which will be very difficult to integrate.
Hundreds of such items still need to be finalized.
What is really needed is time. Time.
With the first set of wings nearing completion in Britain and the fuselage parts almost ready to leave Germany, time is the one thing Andreas Fehring does not have. The design of the new Airbus A380 goes back a long way. Philippe Jarry was one of the elite team involved from the very beginning.
I think it was in '88 where there were the first meetings, very secret meetings, between very few people in Airbus who said, well, if we had to imagine a very big airplane, let's say 500 or 600 seats, how would it look?
At the time, their biggest machine was the A340, a state-of-the-art but only mid-sized airliner. Keen to cut costs, the team tried ways to double its capacity relatively cheaply.
The first idea was to use existing components, which has been an Airbus tradition. And so the people started, for example, assembling two A340 fuselages side by side and make it a kind of horizontal fuselage cross-section. Put big wings, of course, and maybe a kind of V-tail, and that was really the first sketch.
Dubbed the ultra-high capacity aircraft, this weird-looking machine was scrapped because it would take too long to evacuate in an emergency.
The main problem that the people were facing was a very, very large number of seats installed abreast. And you had to provide 4 or 5 aisles in the middle, wasting, in fact, a lot of time, while it was difficult to accommodate enough doors on each side to ensure for the evacuation.
The next big idea combined the A340 with its little brother, the A320, giving a humpback shape similar to the Boeing 747. But even if it ran full length, such a narrow top deck would not have the space that was needed.
If you pretend to offer to the airlines, the major airlines of the world, a top-class, top-efficient airplane, you cannot compromise. As simple as this. So it has to be a fully new design.
Soon there were hundreds, then thousands of engineers, technicians, computer specialists, and aerodynamics experts working flat out on the A3XX, as it was then called. The new machine would be enormous, with 2 full-width decks, giving 49% more floor space than the Jumbo.
The airlines told us, don't be shy, don't hesitate. Of course it has to be big. It has to be bigger than anything that is flying. So don't be shy, don't hesitate. Make it really big.
But there was one more factor the team had to contend with. A monster that has long cast its shadow over the entire operation. This is the Beluga, the extraordinary, some would say freakish, cargo plane custom built by Airbus. There are planes that can carry more weight, but the Beluga has everything else in the world beaten when it comes to volume. This machine can swallow a load 16 feet wide by 16 feet tall by 70 feet long in one go. The Beluga is vital to the way that Airbus works. It's used to carry components from factories all over Europe to the final assembly lines in France and Germany. On average, this industrial powerhouse produces almost one airliner every day. It's a complex system that guarantees one strange fact. An Airbus jet has already flown thousands of miles before it ever takes off. But when it came to the A3XX, as it was still called, there was one huge problem. Few of the giant parts could fit inside the Beluga.
In fact, the Beluga could fit inside the A3XX. So we had to think of something completely different.
Now a seemingly impossible task fell to this man, 51-year-old Spaniard, Jesus Morales.
Había que buscar soluciones alternativas al Beluga.
With the Beluga out of the question, we looked at everything we could think of that could carry such a load. First off, we thought of using airships to carry the parts, but the technology wasn't quite ready. We also looked at helicopters, but they wouldn't have enough payload for our purpose.